Are you ready to be inspired? Yes. Please put your hands together and welcome Austin Walsh.
Thank you. You guys ready to have some fun today? Yes. So I took a 5 o'clock in the morning flight to be here. So I'm excited. Very excited. And I literally only have one rule in my entire talk. Can I tell you my one rule? So when I was 16 years old, I bought this car. It was a yellow Mustang that literally, you ever see those kids that are driving on the street that have the super annoying trunks that go rattle with the really loud music? You know, the boom, boom, boom. So that was my car when I was 16. Now, because of that, my hearing is very bad. So when I ask you something, I need you to respond really loud at me. So I'm going to ask you how your day is, and you're going to respond great, and we're going to test this out, okay? How's your day? Great! All right, now, I thought I was at Harvard, so I'm going to try this one more time. How's your day? Great! All right, that sounds awesome. Is that good? Yeah. All right, so let's have some fun. There's a picture of me. I'm just like the average kid, you know, that's me a few weeks ago hanging out. But no, kidding. I started business when I was really young, and then my first business, I'll never forget, I was 10 years old. What kind of business do you start when you're 10? Lemonade stand. This is not a picture of me. That's from Google. But, so, I decided that, let me tell you, the first thing that's amazing about lemonade stand is it was the best business I ever had. It was the only business I ever had in my life that it was 100% pure profit. Now let me explain to you how we did this. Basically what I did is I went into my mom's kitchen, and whatever she had, I would take it and sell on the street. Didn't matter if it was cookies, or hot dogs, or lemonade, or Butterfingers, whatever she had, I would sell it, and then I would keep all the money. She'd go back to the grocery store, and it'd be a cycle that would repeat itself. And it was awesome. Never had to pay her a thing. And the challenge for me was the lemonade stand was fun, and I was making, I think I made like 50 bucks a day. It was a blast. But you ever hear you have to do what you're passionate about? I wasn't passionate about lemonade. That wasn't like my big dream, my big goal. I wasn't going to be the next Minute Maid guy. I don't know if anyone here is passionate about lemonade, but it just wasn't my thing. What I did love, and I'm sure there's a few people in here that do that too, love this too, I love music. And since we're at Harvard, can I be very transparent with you guys today? Yes. I decided that I was going to become a DJ. Now, here's a picture of me DJ. Now, I'm going to be very transparent. Is that okay once again? Yeah. The way that I looked at it was very simply, DJs got to party, they got to be around very beautiful women, and then once again, they get paid to do these things. I'm like, this sounds like a great life plan. At 12 years old, this was it, right? I'm like, what is better? The challenge is when you start a business, you need what? You need capital, right? Because with a business without capital is like a human being without oxygen. Do you know what a human being without oxygen is? Dead. And that's how business is without capital. The challenge is my lemonade business wasn't doing that good, so I needed capital. Now, I bought these speakers, so I had these speakers. You need two things to start a DJ business. You need speakers, and you need these things called turntables. Everyone know what turntables are? So I had these speakers, I bought those, but I needed these turntables. So I went on the internet and I found this pair of turntables. They were CJ 1000s. They were about 2,000 bucks. So, just like any business owner, what did I do? I wrote down my business plan, I took my report, I did my credit thing, and I went to the bank and said, hey, Mr. Fifth Third, you know, here's my plan, here's everything I got, can I have a loan for like 2,000 bucks? And what'd they say? No. And then I went to Chase, said, Mr. Chase, look at me, come on. Said, hey, can I have a loan for this? And, you know, can I get this loan for like 2,000 bucks? Here's my credit report, here's my business plan. What'd they say? No. Then I went to a third financial institution. Now, this financial institution was known as my parents. And I went to my parents and I said, here's my plan. Let me say, here's my plan. Can I have 2,000 bucks? And they said, no. But they said, well, I said, well. So I went back online and I found these turntables that were like 400 bucks. And they said, if you pay us back within 3 weeks, then you can get it. I said, okay. So I got these pair of Newmark 494s, and I became like the 12-year-old DJ. Like I was, anywhere that would pay me 200 to 300, 400 bucks, I would play all night. I knew all the music. And I got really good at it. Like I was doing bar mitzvahs and weddings and dance parties and graduations, and it was a blast. And I'll never forget, one time I was going to this DJ thing, and my mom, I couldn't drive, right? So my mom was driving me to these things, and she was helping me carry the equipment, and the lady went up to my mom and said, hey, I'm so happy to have you DJing tonight. He goes, oh, they thought my mom was the DJ. They're like, no, he's the DJ down there. And I'm like, oh, nice to meet you. They had fun. So anyway, DJing became really good. Now, what do DJs like to do? I told you a little bit earlier. Party, right? There you go. Thank you for the G-rated answer. I appreciate that. DJs love to party. Now, very specifically, everyone in here was young once, right? And a lot of us are still young, yes? Yes, yes? when you're 15 years old, where's the best place to throw a party? The house, more specifically, the basement. And even more specifically, my mom's basement. Now, what happened was I was 15 years old, and I was about to have my homecoming come up. Everyone know what homecoming is? Yeah? The dance things, right? And so now, the one thing I knew is, I have that kind of mindset. When I set my mind on to do something, I'm going to do it, right? So I set my mind that I was going to have a party in my mom's basement. She didn't know about this yet, but I was going to do it. So I went up to my mom one day, and this is like a week before the thing's supposed to happen, and I said, Mom, you look absolutely amazing today. Your eyes look great, gorgeous. And she goes, what do you want? And I'm like, well, and now it's very important you understand this. So there's 3 children in my family. I'm the oldest, so I have a younger brother and a younger sister. My brother's 16, my sister's 21. So I'm 23. I like to call myself the experiment child. You know what that means? So like basically my parents learned the ropes through me, and I got away with a lot more. So I went to my mom and said, can we have this party? There'll be like 15 to 20 kids, and I'll just play some DJ music. And she said, of course. Sure, like that sounds great. Like I can't wait to meet your friends. Like any mom that has never had a high school kid through, like I'm so excited about this. Well, we had about 100 kids show up. The walls are trash. There's a few holes. Like the party was great, but basically I was never allowed to throw a party there again. But I realized I was kind of good at doing these things. So then fast forward a year, my Sweet 16 was coming up, and I went back to my mom, and what did she say this time? No, she chased me out of the house. And my dad lived far away, so I was like, all right, well, we'll find a place to do this. And it started with my birthday party, this whole business concept in my head. And we threw a Sweet 16 party at this place called Eclipse Nightclub in Chicago. And we had 400 kids show up for free. I'm thinking like, wow, I'm going to bring this whiteboard over here. I'm thinking like, wow, that's pretty good. I got it. If you have 400 kids show up for free, let's say you were to charge $20 a head, how much do you make? $8,000. Now, if you take that $8,000, you give half to the door, and you take half, what do you make? Now, at 15 or 16 years old, it's $4,000 cash in one night, a good night. Yes. Now, one more question. Is $4,000 cash in one night having fun a good night for any age? Yes! Yes! Thank you! Just making sure I'm in the right room, right? I'm like, okay, like I didn't think of it. So my birthday is November 10th. I just had it. It was pretty fun. But New Year's Eve is this. Anyone ever heard of this New Year's Eve thing? It's pretty. Let's see how transparent you guys are with me. Anyone ever done something regrettable on New Year's Eve? Some of you will tell the truth. Some of you are lying. It's okay. I'm all right with that. So I decided that I'm going to have this New Year's Eve party, and I started telling my friends about it. And at the time, I'm really big on MySpace, and Facebook just came out. And we put it on Facebook, and we're charging $20 a head. I figure I'll get 200 kids. 200 kids, $20 a head is what? 4,000. That means I make $2 grand a night for throwing a party. Sounds awesome. And once again, I get to hang out with pretty chicks, so I'm not mad. So we put it on Facebook, and within 3 weeks, we have over 1,000 confirmed guests. Now I'm thinking 1,000 times 20 is what? 20,000. And you take that in half, you get 10,000. Now, shake your head. That's a really good night, right? At 16. And everything's going great. We booked at this place called Eclipse. Like, the party's supposed to be amazing. Now, the problem is when you start a business, you're going to have what? Problems, challenges, failure. I don't believe in problems. I don't believe in challenges. That's very important. But challenges are going to arise, right? And everything is going great. And 3 days before the party's supposed to happen, we had 1,800 confirmed guests. We can fit 1,000 people, which is amazing. Like, I'm so stoked. We have 5 DJs. Like, this party's supposed to be, it's going to be amazing. I get a call like a few days before the thing's supposed to happen, and they go, Austin. I get on the phone, I'm like just excited. You ever have that just massive rush of emotion about you just excited about something? That's how I was. Like, this is my first big deal, you know? Like, this is, your friends, I have a lot of friends that, thought I was dumb for doing this party, but once you're about to make a check with a comment, and of course you're brilliant, right? So I was very excited about this. And he calls, the guy that owns the club calls me, and he says, Austin, like, Mike, it's going to be amazing. We're going to have people at the door. We're going to be able to do this month after month. He goes, Austin, slow down. You see, unfortunately, we have to hire more security. We have to get more coach triggers. Now, remember that emotion thing I was talking about? You ever have that feeling like you know something bad is about to happen? That it hasn't happened yet, but you know it's coming. It's just like, oh, what's going on? And that's what happened. He says, Austin, unfortunately, we can't afford to pay you the half of your fee. We can only pay you $500. And unfortunately, your 5 DJs that night, they just don't fit our budget. So now I'm thinking in my head, well, fill in the blank, whatever you want to put there. This is not cool, right? This is not fun. And I'm like, you have 3 options, right? Option A is you cancel a party, and now if you cancel a party, you ruin your social life for the rest of high school. That was not really an option. I like having everyone like having a social life? Yes, me too. Option B, you throw the party, take $500, give $100 to each DJ, and call it a day. Right? Option C, with 3 days left, you find a different location. A good entrepreneur does what? Option C. What I did, I said some words I'm not going to repeat today, hung up the phone, and I started driving around. I said, screw it, we'll figure something out. So I started driving around, and now I didn't realize, and maybe it was the ignorance in me, maybe it was just that I was young, I don't know, I don't know. I just knew I would figure it out, right? And I started driving around and said, hey, even though it's New Year's Eve and every single place in the entire country basically is booked, we'll find a place that can fit 1,000 16-year-old kids. Figure it out. Which sounds crazy when I say it like that, right? But in my head it sounds great. So I start driving around. Long story short, I walk into this place called Mojo's. I'll never forget, I had a backwards tie-dye hat on, I had a pink shirt, I had Jordans on, and Jordan sweatpants on. I walked in and said, hey man, we got 1,000 people coming in 2 days, can we do a party? And he said, you're crazy, get out of here. Because who would believe that? Right? I mean, what kind of 6-year-old people? National touring acts don't bring 1,000 people with that kind of money, right? So I started texting him. You know how you have to be persistent sometimes if you want to get stuff done? I was very persistent. I started texting him, calling, and then I said, hey, I'll give you like $500, let's just do the party. He said, okay, that's fine. Because I was serious. Once cash was, I was a little more serious. So, end of the story, we changed the location, we sent a little thing out on Facebook. Here, the other guy decides to have his party. This is a hard picture to see. These are all heads. I know it's kind of hard to see. That's me with my arms up, about to jump into the crowd. Being honest, being transparent with you guys. At 11:30, 11:45 at night, we had 875 people in the door. The last 15 minutes, we just had to rush people in to catch the midnight ball. The other guy decided to have his party. He booked all these DJs and stuff because he thought, he didn't understand how the internet worked. And he had one person show up. You ever get revenge without even trying to get revenge? Like, let me tell you, it was like the coolest thing in the world. It was awesome. And so then I became like at the end of the night, like I'll never forget these two things. The first thing was that guy threw a party and lost a bunch of money. At the end of the night, I'm sitting in the back of the green room, which is the artist room, like backstage. And you ever have a feeling, probably not, but you felt like you did something illegal? I felt like I just did something illegal because there's this massive pile of cash there, like the biggest pile I've ever seen in my life at 16 years old. And he goes, this is your half, this is mine. And I'm like, holy cow, this is awesome. And the guy that didn't believe me that I was going to bring these people is now one of my best friends in the world. And anyway, I became the party guy. Like, have you ever heard like Fall Out Boy or Pharrell or LMFAO? Like, we brought these acts into Chicago and did these massive team parties before these acts were really huge. And I was like 16, 17 years old. My party business was doing about 6 figures a year, cash. And I was having a blast. And I really didn't understand what being an entrepreneur was, but I knew that I was good at it, right? Well, anyone have kids in here? Kids? And, okay, so the next part of this is that it's really important that your kids know what you do. I'm going to be very transparent once again. When I grew up, I knew a few things, right? I knew that I went to a private school, that my dad drove a Mercedes, and that we ate really good food. Don't ask questions, right? Yeah, that's kind of what I feared. Well, one day I get a call from my dad that says, I'm speaking on the north side of Chicago. Do you want to come hear me speak? And I'm like, dude, you're not funny. How are you speaking somewhere, right? I'm like, okay. But I said, okay, I'll come here. I'll come listen to your talk. Like, I'll come check it out. So I go up to the north side of Chicago, drive up there, and I already got a great business going on. But I hear my dad talk, and I love what he's talking about. He's big into, like, the venture capital and big into, like, the helping entrepreneurs and all these different things that 16 I had no idea about. And I loved it. And at the time, I didn't know what a seminar was, but he does a lot of these seminars, right? And so he says, do you want to come to the seminar? He had a seminar called the Rainmaker Summit, which I know a few of you have probably been to. And I bought into it. Like, I bought into the idea of, I don't think the education system in high school is going to teach me how to be successful, so how can I be successful in other areas? And so I started doing parties on Friday night, going to conferences on Saturday, Sunday. And I just wanted to learn constantly. And I realized I was really good at the internet. I was good at like Facebook stuff and good at driving traffic. So I decided that I was going to become like an internet marketer. Now I didn't know what an internet marketer was. Like, you guys ever hear the term internet marketer? Mm-hmm. It's like half of you think it's fluff, half of you think it's a scam, and then some of you think it's pretty cool, right? I don't know what I think. I'm still trying to figure that out. But I decided I'm going to be an internet marketer and sell stuff online. And I started working with clients. I was really good at driving massive amounts of traffic and stuff like that. And I decided that, okay, I'm going to release a product on how to drive traffic on Facebook, because I was really good at driving traffic. Driving traffic doesn't mean you can sell. Do you understand this? You can get a lot of people somewhere, but it doesn't mean you know how to sell. So I was in high school, I was a senior in high school, and I launched this product called the Facebook Fan System. Now, anyone ever launched something in here? Raise your hands high. Anyone ever launch something here and nothing happens?
Yes.
So it's like you're the author of your book. You have a book that you authored, and the only people that bought it is your family. You know what I mean? And you don't have to raise hands, but you know what I'm saying? Please don't. But that's basically what happened. So I launched this product online called the Facebook Fan System. It was $27, and driving traffic, and I kept hitting refresh, and like 2 weeks later, I'm still hitting refresh. Where are people at? Do you don't want to buy this thing? It's really cool. But I didn't understand how to sell it. We're going to talk about that today. So anyway, I go back, I rework it, I relaunch it 6 months later. It was a week before I graduated high school. We relaunched it at $27 price point, and we sold 100 grand in a week. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I'm like, I like this. And the whole concept was that back in the day, this is a few years ago, people weren't allowed to, let's see, 5 years ago, people weren't allowed to actually get leads off Facebook, and we created a system that allows you to put an opt-in page on Facebook that generates on there. Yeah, we all do. It's universal. So, how are you going to make money? And how many products do you have? Let's just say 3. So are they all great products? And they're all amazing? But why would I pick one over the other then? Do you get what I'm saying? So, this is what we are taught to do on the internet. We're taught to build sites like this that look very pretty. Oh, and then we have pictures of ourselves. You know the one thing about the online, I love this rant. The one thing about online is that when you're online, who do you care about? You. So why would I care about Liz? No offense, I love you. But does this make sense? When we're online, we're trying to get something of value for us. We're trying to get a result for us. And what we do as product owners is we put a bunch of pretty pictures of ourselves on there and expect people to buy from us when they don't care about us. It's true. It's brutally true, but if you think about it, it's honest. And so you have to create something that the customer actually enjoys, and I'm going to put these 2 words up here. You have to sell either a result or an experience. Don't sell products or services anymore. It's a waste of time. Hey, do you want to buy this really cool product that's going to help you out? Or, do you want to go to an amazing experience, and that's when you're through the experience, you're going to get results of generating your income to a whole different level. Which sounds better? Right, and so we're online, we're selling, and I bet you that most people that raise their hands for, maybe even you, I'm not sure. Everyone that raised their hand has probably a site that looks like this, yes? Yeah. And so, we have to get away from that mold. Does this make sense? Yeah. Is this helpful? Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So, just really clearly, what these sites are good for, I call them corporate sites. What they're good for is just a placeholder for your brand. So if you have existing customers, it's great to send your customers there to get more information about you, maybe buy an upsell. But if you're trying to get a new customer, a site like that is never going to work because it's information overload. They get confused and then they hit X. And people spend about 7 seconds on a site before they leave. So if there's 7 different options, they don't even have an opportunity to make a decision of what they're going to do. Does this make sense? Yeah. Cool. All right, so you have to think, first off, why do you start a business? Somebody. Make money and make money wrong. Why do you start a business? Well, that's close. Think long term. We're at Harvard, one of the greatest universities in the world. You start a business. If you're thinking long term, thinking legacy, thinking big about your business, not small, you start a business to eventually sell a business. Because if you start a business for the right reasons, you're starting it for 100 years, not 5. If you're starting a business to make money, you're probably just starting it for 5 or 10 years, right? Because eventually, you'll move on to something else. But, so the next part is, how are businesses selling today? Internet. Go ahead. What is it? Yeah, okay. What else? Media. More importantly, why are they selling? Because they have lots of traffic. Come on, get there. Facebook, Instagram was sold for people, right? Thank you, people and users. So you have to think about information and your users. And how are you getting both? If you look at companies like Instagram or Snapchat, Instagram was sold for $1 billion. They haven't made a buck yet. Does this make sense? So No? Someone say no? No. Right. Instagram was sold for $1 billion. They've never even made $1 yet. Same with Twitter. Do you know Twitter is yet to turn a profit? And you have to think, long term, you need to eventually sell a business, right? So the first thing you have to think about is, how are you getting leads and users today? What are you doing? Now the easiest thing for a simple entrepreneur is you give away what? A free gift, product, whatever you call it. So what do we give away for free? Service. You can't scale service. Information. So book. Let's say, anyone ever heard of ebooks? Now, I want you to focus on this, right? This is massively important. The point of the free gift is to give someone some amazing information so that they then come back and buy, right? Does it make sense? So if you think about it like that, you have to give them something they're going to be able to use. So if you think about an ebook, let's talk about an ebook for a second. An ebook is what? 20, 30 pages of what? Information that who wrote? That we wrote, and we're trying to get someone to use it to then get a result. Now, how many of you have read 20 to 30 page ebooks in the last year that you got something really useful out of? Or how many of you downloaded ebooks and then never even read them? You know what I'm saying? We have to create something that people are actually going to use. So don't give away ebooks. You want to create a result or experience. I think the easiest thing to give away is 7 tips. So really simple, 7 super amazing tips on whatever it is that you're good at. Let's say I'm not in the weight loss niche, but if I was in the weight loss niche, my first tip would be run on the treadmill once a week for 10 minutes. If you then if that person goes and loses 1 pound, who just became the savior? You did, because it's so rare that people actually give away free information and the potential customer gets something out of it. Does this make sense? Okay. So then you have to think about, so give away 7 tips. We'll make that simple. So then you have to think about, what should your page look like to convert? Most people think, video and then some text and then an email box underneath it. Does that look about right? So the challenge is, why video? It's the way of the world. Everyone loves video. Now, how long is the average video? Let's say 2 minutes. Cool. Now here's my question for you. The average user spends how long online before they leave? 7 seconds. So, I know this is literally crazy math. 7 seconds less than or greater than 2 minutes. It's what? Right. So, why would people stay? And this 2-minute video is usually what? Who? It's you. You know why we love these pages? You know why we love these pages so much? Because who's on the video? You. And who's it about? And it's all about us, right? And so it's never going to convert the customer because it's not about them at all. You're never focusing on the customer. Does this make sense? So, forget the video. Make it super simple. So you literally just do 5 to 6 lines of content, copy you call it, that's completely focused on what is the user going to receive. Does this make sense? Yeah. And nothing about you, no pretty pictures of you, just completely focus on what are they going to receive. Good? Yeah. Cool. You guys having fun? Oh, yeah. Right. Is this helpful so far? Yes. All right, cool. All right, so now the next part is someone just put in their email, right? Someone just gave you their email. What happens next? You want to what? Thank them, but more importantly, when you give someone when somebody gives you something for free, subconsciously, what do you think happens in the mind? They feel like they owe you something, right? So this is a time where you need to sell. Someone owes you something, they're going to watch whatever you have next, right? So this next part, 2 lines of copy, underneath it a video 7 minutes, underneath that a buy button. Does that make sense? It's super simple. Now, this is the first time where you're actually introducing yourself as anybody, right? This funnel, how these things work, if you have a product that's anything under $2,000, these funnels work great for it. It's a service, a business, whatever it is that you're trying to sell, it works amazing for. In this 7-minute video, I'm going to go through this quick. Is that okay if I go through this quick? Yeah. All right. So the first 30 seconds is all completely focused on an intro. Now, what I mean by an intro is not, hi, my name is Austin, I'm so pretty, buy my stuff. I mean, introduce the topic. Does that make sense? We're talking about the economy in 2004, this happened in 2005, this happened in 2008, this happened. Good? Yeah. All right. The next part, this is about 90 seconds, is completely focused on the results and you. Now, what I mean by that is that you want to talk about the results people get when they work with you, not testimonials. There's a big difference in that. Testimonial is someone gets on camera and talks really nice about you. Those are great and everything, but a result is when you've done something to actually create a result in someone's life, and they put it on camera saying, this person has helped me in this way, this way, this way. Does that make sense? So these are like almost case studies. So put 2 case studies in there, and then the next part is all about you, where you just do 45 seconds all about yourself, right? I think you're off. Makes sense. All right. Make sense? Simple? All right. The next 2 minutes are called the fears and qualifications. Now, what I mean by that, when someone's about to buy something, what happens? There's always a reason why they shouldn't do it. Unless you take your girlfriend to the mall and she's got your credit card, they have every reason to do it. But this is why are they not going to buy? For me, like I'll tell you, one of the things that we focus with the most is that people don't want to buy because they don't have time, they don't have money, they don't have experience, they're scared it's a scam, they don't have the tech experience. Those are like the main things that we do. So whatever business you're in, you want to really brain list the fears that you're going to have. And then from that, you take these fears and turn it into a qualification. So let's say time, right? What most people would say is that if you don't have 2 hours a week, this program is not for you. But that's like lame. What I love working with people that can take a challenge. And so what I say is that, listen, if you have 2 hours a week to commit to this program will be a great fit for you. If not, there's probably something else. But if you don't have 2 hours a week, this program probably isn't right for you. There's probably someone else for you, but this is the program that's going to take you time. Something like you word it like that to get people, you take their fear and you turn it into a massive challenge. Same thing with money. If you don't have money, that's okay. We'll figure out a way. This program is probably going to cost you $500 a month to run through, or it's $500 a month to do. So it makes it so that instead of just saying since you can't do this, you're not allowed to be in it, you take the fear and turn it into a qualification. Does this make sense? It's kind of more confusing part, but think about it for a second. You're taking whatever it is they're feared of, turning it into a challenge, and then turn it into a qualification. So instead of getting just, what most people try and do is they try and sell everyone. They want everyone to buy. I only like working with the right people. So your conversions will go down doing this a little bit, but you're going to get the highest quality customers. Make sense?
Yes.
Cool. All right. So the next 2 minutes is all about your product, your service, your opportunity, whatever it is you're selling. So this is where you just thoroughly explain it. Go through exactly what it is that you're selling, whatever it is that you're trying to pitch. And don't sell it yet, but just really go through it. So let's say you have a product that's got 6 modules, go through the 6 modules. Go through each and every one of them, make it really clear, make it concise, and just talk about it. It's really important. If people stay through this part, they should buy. Because if you think about what people are doing when they're online, they're usually at home, they're at work, or they're not supposed to be on the computer, or they're in bed, like usually at home somewhere, typically it's most places. So they're very comfortable. So if they're watching you for this amount of time, they're very comfortable with you, and they should buy. Does this make sense? So this is the part where you don't want to pitch hard. You just absolutely just explain it to them what it is that they're going to receive, what the benefits look like, what the results they're going to receive. And I really believe in just using these 2 words. I don't like using the word product or service. People understand that, but really just explain the results and the experience you're going to receive. Good? All right. You guys alive still? Yes. Cool. Now the next 2 minutes. I mean, it's usually a lot less. Sometimes it's a lot more. This is just your close. I don't know. I've talked to so many sales trainers over the years, and I've heard everything from, smack your feet a few times and say a few words and people will buy, to say this, say this. I don't believe in any of that nonsense. I don't believe in people that say, my product is $50,000, today it's $15. I think that's bull too. I just think be really genuine. I mean, be whoever you are, and whatever it is that however you sell, sell. And if you're not good at selling, then maybe get someone else to do it for you. But just be super genuine. I don't think there's a certain way to do it. I don't think you offer a certain discount. Just be you. Is that cool? Yeah. Simple? Yes?
Yes.
All right. Good. Any questions on this? All right. So the next part, I learned this a few different ways, mostly from women. That I learned that when people are buying stuff, they usually, a lot of times, they don't actually buy. Like any of you ever been online where you add a bunch of stuff to cart, and then you're like, nah, I don't need this. I will refrain today. Well, you know, it's true, right? And so I use this software. It's called mouseflow.com. Mouseflow.com. And what it allows you to watch what people are doing on your page. So you can see like where their mouse goes, where the heat maps are, how much time they're spending on there, why they're leaving, all that kind of stuff. And so we were doing this launch, and we had a site that pretty much looked like this. It was just your credit card and then a process button. And we were it was a $67 product. I showed you a thing from earlier. We were basically at like 1 out of 5 people that actually bought. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I noticed that, 4 out of 5 people were going up here and hitting X. Now, at this time of doing this whole thing, I was like in this process of going to school, and I had this teacher who was very interesting. That she actually, on my first day of class, I went in and said, I said I can't be here on Thursday because I got to go to Australia to give a presentation, but I'll be back really quick. But then I came back on Tuesday, and she thought I was ditching school. I came back the next week, and she goes, we have to do a 5-minute presentation on ourselves. So I gave my 5 minutes. Everyone talk. I'm W, so I'm like the last kid in the class. So I go up there and I give my talk, and I had kids like raising their hands, and some kids like, you should do this professionally, like making all these funny comments in my head that were pretty funny. And then the kids are allowed to ask questions, and a kid raised his hand, asked a question. He said, teacher, her name was Kate or something, teacher, the only question I have is why is he not teaching the class? He's a much better speaker than you. And so I'm like, bro, listen, we knew it, but you didn't have to say it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, forget it. You can just talk to me afterwards. We'll help you out, whatever you want. But anyway, this is while this whole launch was going on. So basically, for the rest of that period, for the rest of the semester, I pretty much just went with a hood on and tried to hide. This teacher hates me. I don't know if you can believe this. I actually got a C in public speaking. Like, I don't know how. Maybe her. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up here really quick. What we did is that we created a new page that increased our conversion massively. And so what we did is that we created a page that really simply had a logo up here, a credit card button here, your process button down here, and then a 30-day money-back guarantee up here, and then testimonials down the side that are results-based testimonials. And so what happened was that these 1 out of 5 people or whatever, right? So we created this new page, and people would start to fill out their information, and it's very important. People always fill out their information. When you decide to buy something, think about it. Before you decide the nah part, you always go and type your information in first. So you type in Austin, then Walsh, and you're like, I don't need it. People would start to go up here, they'd read this, they would come back and start filling it out. And we went from 1 out of 5 to 3 out of 5. So we went from 1 to 6% just by making these few different changes. Isn't that cool? And so on that launch, we did about $250,000, which was pretty sweet. And we've had a blast since, but just recap really quick. Simply put, what you want to do is you want to create a funnel that's super simple, right? You're creating a simple squeeze page that says, hey, here's the result experience you're going to get. It's absolutely amazing. The second part is you create a sales page that's super clear. 7 minutes, you're not going to waste 45 minutes of your time. Sell a product or a service that's going to actually help people and create value somehow, and be really clear with it. We use this really fancy, I'll give you one more. So we use this really fancy video tool. It's called PowerPoint. So just make it in PowerPoint and turn it into a video. And then close. Create a page that's going to close people. Make sense? Yes. It's been helpful? Yes. In closing, I also have this DJ thing tonight. I'm going to be here almost all day, but then I fly back to Chicago. I'm doing a DJ set in front of 2,500 people tonight. So that's going to be fun. And then I fly to Vegas tomorrow. But I'm going to be here for a good portion of the day. So if you want to come talk to me, or I don't know why people say this. People say the word, you ever heard pick my brain? Please don't pick my brain. That's a really weird word. I don't know why people say that. It's super awkward, but if you want to talk to me and ask questions, I'm okay with that. Just don't pick my brain. That's just awkward. So, and then we have a booth in there. I have an amazing program that for anyone that would like to come for free for 30 days, you can come for 30 days. It's in the other room. Just come fill out a form. There's no charge or anything. 30 days free just for you. We basically meet once a week and talk about different internet marketing topics, and I make you guys laugh. Cool? Yeah. All right, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure.